In this video, I answer the age-old question, how do I move mana around? Well, you could do something like this. Just a bunch of mana spreaders pushing mana in one direction, and if you use more than one, it goes even faster, right? You could use sparks, right? This spark is got a recessive augment, and it's going to end up in this pool right here. Or you could use mana on rails. Now, what's the advantage of mana on rails? Well, that setup over there has been running for a while, and it will continue running for a while before this mana pool at the very end gets filled up. It's going to take a long time to operate, whereas with mana on rails, you can do something like this. We've got our loading station here, and our unloading station. And it's done! It just moved almost a full mana pool from point A to point B, and it can move mana very long distances very, very quickly. So let's get into how this works. Over here we've got the mana loading station, and I'm going to start this loading some mana. I'm going to speed it up a bit. Okay. So we've got the mana loading station here, and here we've got a mana pump, and note that the pink side is where the mana is going to go. The pump has a comparator facing away from it, and this comparator has 13 bits of redstone, and that seems to be the magic number. 13 bits, doesn't matter what direction you run it in. I'm running in a rectangle here. You could run it up, down, all around, doesn't really matter. Just remember that 13 is the number that you want. And that's going to, basically, when this minecart is just almost full, it's going to have a redstone signal here, strength of 13, and that will enable the powered rail, like that, and set it on its way. And this is pretty straightforward setup, not very difficult to construct. Down at the other end, we've got our unloading station. This is a little bit more sophisticated, but still not really that bad. We've got another powered rail with a block behind it, a mana pump with facing the other way. It's facing into a mana pool, and this mana pool has a spark on it with a recessive augment, which means it's just going to dump it to any nearby mana pools. There's a redstone comparator facing off of this pump, and this one just has one piece of redstone before it goes into a redstone repeater, which is going to amplify that signal. And the way this works is when there's no mana in the minecart here, it should make sure that this torch stays enabled. But if there's any mana at all, the signal coming off of this comparator should disable this torch so that the minecart stays put. So basically, it should stay put until it's completely empty and then send it on its way. So why do I have this detector rail here? Well, the problem is when a full minecart comes down here, there's a delay between when this comparator outputs a signal and when this torch gets turned off. So this detector rail is just to make sure that this torch gets turned off for a moment when any minecart shows up, no matter how much mana is in that pool. And that just makes sure that everything stays smoothly and that the minecart doesn't come down here and then immediately bounce back off. So there you have it. I'm just going to pause for a moment so you can have a look at the setup here for the unloading station. And let's go back and look at the loading station. Very simple, very fast, and it can work over very long distances. Also, if you need to get mana through a wall, you can use a spectral rail. So you can have it come out completely outside your base, go through a wall via spectral rail, and repeat the process. And that's how you use mana on rails.